If you want to move ahead in life, you have to work in your present so that you can make your future better. That is something that we all know. But there is one important factor that we all negate or we all ignore. And just because of its simplicity, we think that it is not worth mentioning. But the most important, crucial, and ruthless factor in our lives is the memories that we have from our past. Just ask yourself, what is the most predictable part of our lives? It's our past. It is actually that part where everything has happened and nothing can be done to change it. And since human beings yearn for predictability and security, those people who are not properly trained in terms of mental fitness, in terms of mental toughness, in terms of emotional management, they are going to spend most of their time in their past. And so when somebody is spending most of his time in his past, what are you supposed to expect from them? What you are going to expect from them is that all their decisions are going to be affected, influenced, and managed by all those emotional reactions which were created within them when they experienced something strong in their past. Let's say that a person used to receive a lot of love and affection from other people in the past, but now in the present he's not able to do so because he's within a new environment. He is sitting somewhere where those things which were available to him once, they're not available to him, and those people who used to love him, they're gone, and now he's in the real world and he has to deal with all of these things on his own. So what do you expect from that? What do you expect from such kind of a person? Obviously, that person is going to break down under that pressure, and his emotional life is going to become really bad, and it is going to take a very massive toll on his mental health because he is not receiving the kind of love that he used to receive. On the other hand, there is a person who received a lot of hate, a lot of abandonment in his past, and now that person is in the present and he's receiving a lot of love because by some accident or by his unwavering dedication and commitment, now he's a celebrity and people are showering their love and affection on him, and people love him, everybody's talking about him. But at the end of the day, if he is taking all the dictation from his past, he is going to feel shit because he knows that he is not worth that praise based on all the experiences that he has from his past. So, the point of this discussion or point of this example is that no matter what you do, your perception in the present is highly, highly influenced by the experiences that you had in the past. So, you cannot get rid of your past. All you can do is to manage it, all you can do is to deal with it. And that's the topic of our today's video. We are going to come up with the ways and the tools and strategies that we can use in order to deal with all those memories which are not helping us to move forward in our life. Because at the end of the day, evolution is forward going. Evolution is forward moving. It is always moving forward. It's not moving backward. So if you want to move, you have to move forward. Because if you are not moving forward, automatically you are moving backward. And when you're moving backward, there is no happiness in it, there is no fulfillment in it. So in order to move forward, you need to get rid of your past, and you need to get rid of your past in a graceful manner. So the first thing that you need to do in order to deal with all the bad memories that you have is to acknowledge that something worse has happened. But try to understand this. When a person is in a traumatic condition, or when a person is going through a very mentally severe consequence of something which happened in his past, what they do is that the first state is always a state of denial because your mind is in a shock. Your mind cannot understand what just happened to you. Your mind cannot understand how this thing can happen to you because your whole concept of predictability and security was shattered by that one incident, and something so out of usual happened that your mind is not able to deal with it. So the first state is always denial. The first state is always silence. Your mind cannot even embrace the fact that something of that sort, something that intense has happened with you. So what you need to understand that the natural tendencies that are found within a human being are actually going to kill him before his time comes. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say that you're angry. When you're angry, you want to kill someone, and when you want to kill someone, what if you really kill someone? It's going to destroy your career, it's going to destroy your family life, it's going to destroy your freedom. You will be in jail. Everything is gone. But the unnatural tendencies are what is going to save you. Because at the end of the day, there is nothing natural about power. There is nothing that is natural about power. If you want to gain personal power, professional power, if you want to gain power in the outer world or in the internal world, you will have to consciously do those things which go against your nature. Because we are all animals within. And the first thing that you need to do in order to control your life and in order to become capable of handling all those difficulties in your life, you will have to put a leash on that animal. And you will have to control it, dictate it, and move it on your terms. If you do that, that's the first step. So in order to deal with the bad memories, the first step that you're going to take is to embrace, is to acknowledge that pain, is to acknowledge that past with as much intensity as it contains. If you're feeling shit, if you're feeling horrible, don't tell yourself that you're feeling bad. It can be politically correct, but it is not the true representation of the emotions that you're feeling within yourself. Tell that you're feeling shit. You don't have to tell anybody else. Just tell yourself. Just say this within your mind. I am feeling shit. Whatever word is coming in your mind, just utter it. Tell yourself, I am feeling like this. This has happened, and this has caused that much disaster and that much catastrophe within my life, and that is something that I will have to deal with for a considerable period of time, because that pain is not going away for a considerable period of time. You know that, I know that. 6 months, 9 months, maybe 1 year. Now, what happens is that once you acknowledge it, you will feel a sense of relief within your mind, because now you know that there is no alternative. Now you know that in the near future or in the coming times, nothing good is waiting for you. No good is waiting for you. Nothing pleasant is going to come your way unexpectedly, and it is going to change your life. You know that. And when you realize that and you tell yourself, now your mind knows the truth. And when your mind knows the truth, now it is ready to move forward with you. So, once you acknowledge the pain, the next step that you should take is to understand that you're not your past. Let's see. You have acknowledged that this is something that I'm going through. This is something which is causing all that pain within me, and I will have to get rid of it. So, when you try to get rid of something which has come without your will, you don't know its strength. And when you don't know its strength, the methods that you're going to come up in order to get rid of it are not going to be effective most of the times. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that that pain is going to stay there. But once you accept that, the next thing that you should do is to tell yourself that this pain is temporary. It is going to stay with me. It can take 6 months, it can take 9 months, it can take 1 year, but eventually it is going to go away. Don't convince yourself that you will have to live with these consequences for the rest of your life. That is the most disastrous and catastrophic mentality that can there be. So, once you know that this is something that you're going through, the next thing is that tell yourself, you're not that memory, you're not that past. You will not have to live with it for the rest of your life. It is going to go away, but until it doesn't go away, you have to tell yourself that what are you going to do with that pain? How are you going to channelize it into productive ways so that you can get rid of all those things which are not serving you anymore, eradicate all of your weaknesses in that realm of human competence in which you actually committed a blunder in the past, and how are you going to get rid of it? Once you know that, the next step that you should take is to focus on what you can control right now. Now, this is something which is, I think, it can be the most important part of this video, and I want you to understand this. There are two parts of our life. One part is that part that we cannot control. there is a tiny part of that equation that we can control. Now, that is our circle of concern. Things which concern us, things that we are concerned about, things that we are worried about, but we cannot do anything about. And then that's the part that is actually under our influence. That's the part that we can do something about. So when you're thinking about those things which you cannot control, misery, depression, anxiety, nostalgia, all those things are going to come your way inevitably because you're worried about those things that you don't have any idea how to deal with them. It can be because of a lack of knowledge, because you don't know how to deal with these things, number one, or it can be because of lack of resources. It can be because of lack of network. Anything which is actually outside of your control, you're trying to make it the center of your universe, and you are trying to worry about those things which are outside of your control. And if you keep doing that, good luck, because then you're doomed for life. There is nothing good which is going to come out of being worried about those things which are not under your control. But the moment you start thinking about those things which you can control, that's the time when your life actually starts taking that shift which it is supposed to take as a result of your efforts to get out of the adversity that you're trying to get rid of. In simple words, there are only two things that you can control, and there is nothing else that you can control. One is the decisions that you're going to make within that given circle of freedom that you enjoy at that particular time while you are surrounded by that stressful situation that you are finding yourself right now. And number two, your actions. As a result of those decisions, what are the actions that you're going to take are going to decide how well your life is going to be from that point on. So when you are under a very stressful and a painful situation, ask yourself, what are the immediate steps that I can take in order to get rid of this thing? Once you know them, immediately take action over them. Don't let them go undecided. Don't let them go untouched. When you have that thing, get it, start working on it. Let's say that you are in a situation that you cannot do anything about, and those memories are actually killing you. Just go for a run. Just go for an exhaustive workout. Just sit and don't let yourself go out of your room and study for 5 to 6 hours until you can actually feel that mental and physical exhaustion which is preventing you from thinking about that stressful situation, because right now you don't have the stamina to think about this. Anything which can exhaust you mentally, emotionally, and physically and can actually get you out of that loop, just go for it. Even if it is for a while, just go for it. And once you do that, that means that you have actually started working on those things which are directly under your control. And so now you know that that pain is going to stay with you, that that's the blunder that you have made. Now you have made that realization and you have embraced that pain. And the second step, now you have understood that this pain is not going to stay with you forever. You're going to get rid of it, and you're going to get rid of it pretty soon. It can be 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, 1 month, no, who knows. But you're going to work on it and you're going to stay patient. And now you know that you are only going to focus on those things which are directly under your control. Now the next step that you should take is that the strongest tendency that you're going to feel while those bad memories are going to haunt you is that you're going to beat yourself up. And you're always going to hold yourself accountable, and you're going to hold yourself responsible for all those things which happened in your life, which is a good thing. But you don't have to beat yourself up for that. You don't have to punish yourself for that. Everybody commits mistakes. Now, the consequence of that mistake maybe was that you had to face a lot of public humiliation. So what? They're also human beings. They have their own insecurities. You have done something wrong, but you need to understand that that's the only one lifetime that you have got. This is something that you have to live with it, and it only comes once. You have committed your part of mistakes. You have actually used your share of mistakes. You have done everything that every other human being is doing. So what? Who cares? You know that you have done it. Everybody else knows that you have done it. Just let them go. And if somebody comes to you and he or she is trying to haunt you with that, just tell them to go fuck yourself. Just go beat yourself up. Ask them, when was the last time that they actually committed a mistake? Because they're actually considering themselves as prophets. They're actually considering themselves as a person who is immune to making mistakes. If somebody of that attitude comes to you and they're blaming you for something that you have done out of your own interest and it actually went wrong, tell them to go fuck yourself, because that's what they deserve. Don't let them go unpunished. Stand for yourself. That's the only way to get out of the loop of misery and helplessness and hopelessness that we are facing at that particular time. Now, when you have actually forgiven yourself and you're standing for yourself, you're defending yourself, and you're working on getting out of that loop, you are controlling those things which are directly under your control, and then you're letting go of all those things which are not under your control. The next thing that you should do is that change your company, because the tendency is always to surround yourself with a lot of silence or with those people who are also miserable just like you, because that pain is not as painful and as irritating when you're trying to live within it. This pain becomes more and more irritable and annoying when you're trying to get rid of it. And it's just like a gum. It tries to pull you back. So in order to get rid of this pain, the first thing that you should do is that immediately find those circles and find those people who you can surround yourself with, who are actually uplifting, who are living their life to their optimum, and they can actually help you to get rid of it. If you can do that, your life and your mood is going to instantly change. Just don't sit with them. Do everything that they're doing, because at the end of the day, feelings can be changed if the attitude is changed, if the actions are changed, if the behaviors are modified. If you're not happy, just start doing what happy people do. If you're happy, you wake up, what do? I go for a run, and then I come back and I do my calisthenics. And I do all of these things, which a normal person can do, who is actually happy with his life and is very much concerned about growing and outgrowing his competitors. If you're doing each and everything that you think you must do, that's a good sign. That means that you're heading towards happiness. And it's just a matter of time. And that feeling of happiness will also be generated within you, because now you're taking responsibility for your happiness. So, surround yourself with those people who can actually lift you up. And once you have done all of that, you have actually fought back and you have spent a lot of time dealing with that pain, and now you're coming out of it. Now you know the skill. Now you know how to get out of it. Now you know how to make yourself better with all that pain which is given to you. Now the next thing is to help others. Find those people who are suffering from all those situations that you have just went through and guide them. If they are willing to be taught, if they're willing to be mentored, tell them how to get rid of it. It's your job. If you find someone who is willing to get rid of that pain, who is not trying to live in that pain forever, he wants to get out of it and he's willing to do everything within his reach to do that, help them. Tell them and share how you got out of it. So do all of these things. Acknowledge that you have done a blunder and it is going to cause you a lot of emotional turbulence for a while. Tell yourself that it is going to stay with you for a considerable period of time, but this pain is not going to stay with you forever. You will have to get rid of it eventually. That thing will compel you to work on those things which are supposed to be worked on so that you can get rid of that pain. And the third thing is that you forgive yourself and you stand for yourself. You defend yourself. You said that, yes, I committed a mistake, but now I'm back on the track and I'm not responsible or answerable to any other goof for the mistakes that I made. And if somebody irritates you with, you did that, tell them to go F themselves. Once you do that, and now you are surrounded by those people who are actually working just like you to get out of these things, and they are happier than you, they're more successful than you, start imitating their actions and start living within their company. And at the end, when you get out of that pain, help others who are willing to be helped in order to get out of the situation. If you do that, you're not just going to make yourself better, you're going to make your surroundings better. And in that way, you're going to find a lot of prospects of progress and prosperity because that's how we build healthy individuals and healthy societies. So for the next time, peace.